Sahana vavatu Sahana bhunaktu Sahaviryam karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the Lord protect us. May He nourish us. May we acquire the capacity to study and understand the scriptures. May our study be brilliant, and may we not cavil with each other. Om, peace, peace, peace unto us all. Dear brothers and sisters, loving Sairam to all of you. We welcome all of you for the online satsang of the Sri Sathya Sai Baba Center of Arcadia. Now we are doing the study circle on the great sacred scripture, Brahma Sutras. And this is the commentary by Swami in Sutra Vahini.
The next chapter, the 5 vital airs, fuel the 5 fires in the body. Sleep is very necessary for every living being. Without sleep, people as well as other beings cannot live. Of all the joys that the world provides, sleep is the most rewarding. All the rest are arid, dry, trivial, and wasteful. When a living being sleeps, the 5 vital airs, life breath, downward air, diffuse air, upward breath, digestive air, which is within parenthesis prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana, do function along with the 5 fires in the body, conferring warmth. During sleep, inhalation and exhalation of the breath proceed serenely and evenly. The life breath acts like the consecrated fire perpetually burning in the household of Vedic rite. It energizes us in the same steady manner. The diffuse air is as the fire lit on the southern side of the altar in the Vedic rite. The upward breath helps the mind reach the world of Brahman, which the person has earned the right to attain by their karma. In other words, it enables the person to experience the taste of mergence with the Supreme. For the embodied Atma, Jivi, rests in sleep, is happy during sleep, is refreshed by sleep, and derives bliss while sleeping. Can I continue? Or?
No, you can. So sleep is important.
Very important.
Right? Is there anybody who doesn't care sleep? Yeah, there are some yogis. I know one Swami Asheshananda, he was the disciple of Holy Mother Sharda Devi. He is not sleeping, but he looks refreshed but sleep is a gift from God. So that is why in Chendi, Durga Shaptasati, there are many things which have Yadevi Sarva Bhuteshu Kshuda Rupena Samstita, Yadevi Sarva Bhuteshu Trishna Rupena Samstita, Yadevi Sarva Matru Rupena, Yadevi Sarva Bhuteshu Nidra Rupena Samstita. So it is the gift of God. So Mother in the form of sleep is there in all beings. She is the form in the appetite, hunger, the form of thirst. We all see you may have wonderful good food, but you may not have appetite to eat. So that means gift of hunger, and that is God's gift. Same thing, you have a wonderful, expensive mattress, sleep, and air-conditioned room. You may be struggling to sleep and take sleeping pill here. Whereas the guy in India, I have seen people underneath a tree in the summer thing, underneath the sleep, you will be sleeping and snoring. So it is not the physical thing. So that is a gift of God. There is even Rudra, in Rudram, he says, Thalpaya. That means Rudra, he identifies bed, because if you have a wrong bed, go to some hotel and they get a broken spring, then it is your miserable, because that time Rudra is on your Ghora aspect. He is giving you trouble. So even simple sleep, you think, that is a gift of God. Doesn't mean, because what happens is our Vedanta is the one who has beautifully analyzed sleep much before modern scientists, how divide into various stages. Wakeful stage, then you go to sleep, then you get dreams, and then you get deep sleep where there is nothing, and then the one thing beyond, that is called Turiya stage. These 4 stages are described, and the Om represents that. A for the wakeful stage, U for the dream stage, Ma for the deep sleep stage, and that Bindu or Nada, that is the ultimate silence after Om, that represents then the Turiya stage. So we all go through that every day. That is the Nama. And in the dream, that is where somebody beautifully analyzed Sushupti Rahas, the secret of sleep. We all go through sleep in the same bed. 2 people may be sleeping in the same. Each one will get it. In the wakeful state, you see the same thing. But in the deep, each one has their own world, right? And how do you see it? You shut off the lights, it's so dark. How are you able to see in the dream? How are you able to see? So that is why beautifully scriptures say, in the waking state, there is a stage called Vishuddhu, that through which you experience. In the dream stage, this is called Tejasudu. The Tejasa itself means light. So that inner light, which even though you don't have outer light, that inner light gives you all the scenery you have there. Go to Europe or Latin America, some of the scenes you never saw that. So without any airfare or any immigration restrictions, anything, you traveled all these places without anything, because that is the food. And finally, that is tiring afterwards, this the modern thing they call REM sleep. Then you go to that deep sleep, wherein you don't have all these disturbances, completely feel rested. It happens to us. For example, one day I was working so late and went bed around almost 1 a.m. So I wanted to get about 6. But suddenly I saw, oh my God, I feel good. I slept long hours, and saw it was only 3:30 a.m. So I slept only 2.5 hours, but it was so deep, you feel so refreshed. It is not how long you sleep. Sometimes you sleep 8 hours, you may be feeling tired. Sometimes short duration of sleep would be the most refreshing. So that is also a gift of God. That is what he's telling. And Sushipti, then final thing is Turiya, you should go beyond. That is why the Shivamanas Stotram, Adi Shankara has written. He wrote, just everything what we do is the worship for God. It says Atmatvam, mother, you are father, Shiva, you are Atma. Girija Mati, my mind is Mother Parvati. So everything, whatever I speak, is your hymns. Whenever I am walking, because everybody does this every day. Whenever I'm walking, that is your pradakshina going around. And he says beautifully, that I like, Nidra Samadhi Sthiti. Nidra is going like into a Samadhi. So ultimately, in spirituality, Patanjali Yoga Sutra, first is Yama, Niyama, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana. Ultimate is Samadhi. So every day we're going to Samadhi, Nidra Samadhi Sthiti. But Ramana Maharshi said beautifully, that Samadhi, this Samadhi is different. That Samadhi, when you go into that, before you go into Samadhi, you are an ignorant guy. Once after you come out of Samadhi, you are enlightened. You are like a Bhagavan, Ramana, or Nisargadatta Maharaj, or Vivekananda, Brahmananda, Sri Ramakrishna. Whereas here, we go dull-headed, we go ignorant. After the Samadhi is Nidra, you come out, still you are same old ignorance. That is the difference. Real Samadhi should enlighten us. So that is but there is a thing, one thing why they are comparing Adi Shankara in the Manasik Stotram, he said Nidra Samadhi, because you will experience, that is the closest to the bliss. That's what sometimes you experience. So you can imagine real Samadhi, if you get, really you think how much more blissful. So that is why Lord Krishna says, Yam labdhva cha param labham. Having attained which, you don't care for anything. You're so happy. Nothing matters to you. They will dance called Nandati, Nandati, Nandati. You dance with joy. I'm very happy, like you dance like a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the great people. So that kind of joy and happiness you get. So just everybody should just have the sleep. But for this, he talked about 5 vital layers. So everything is 5. Lot of things are 5. At least all of us should know, we discussed many times 5, right? These 5 items, prana, apana, vyana, udana. These 5 kinds of airs are the one which make us walk around, talk around. Somebody says, oh, he went away. Where did he go? How did he go? Science cannot explain, even medical science. So he says the brain waves may be dead, but still the heart will be beating. So completely you can see the brain waves are gone. Heart. Suddenly the principle, this life principle, prana is gone. Nobody can tell how did it go away. Because how it comes, that is still the control of the Lord. So that is what. So this is the 5 kinds of airs: prana, apana, apana, vyana, udana, samana. And then there are pancha upapranas. I don't want to go into that metaphysical, Dhananjaya, thing. And then 5 karmendriyas, 5 organs of action, the hands, feet, and all that, organs of recreation and excretion and procreation. And then 5 organs of perception, that is the taste, smell, and then speech and touch and all those things. Then 5 bhutas, pancha mahabhutas, 5 elements, that is the earth, the water, and then fire, air, and space. And then what other 5 things is there? Panchakoshas. We talked about, that is why the whole Bhruguvali is about Panchakoshas. The Annamaya Kosha, that is the food sheath, Pranamaya Kosha, vital air sheath, then Manomaya Kosha, mind sheath, and Vijnanamaya Kosha, intellect sheath. And so once we transcend, then only you get into the bliss sheath. So we talk about easily bliss, but really you want to go to bliss, you have to go beyond these koshas. That is why it is important. People think, yeah, this is all too much dry philosophy, but otherwise we will always be in a superficially doing. We need to dive deep. Whenever Sri Ramakrishna's favorite, Dubo, they go dive deep. When you go into the superficial in the ocean, he says you'll get all this grass and rubbish, everything will be flowing. But you dive deep into the ocean, there will be nice pearls, nice jewelry, everything. That is why it's called Ratna, because it holds all wonderful, expensive jewels, the ocean. But if you only go on the top, you'll get the shells, garbage, and all that. So you need to dive deep. Same thing, the scriptures. You're only superficial, the ritualistic thing, you won't get the real, that ultimate knowledge. So you need to dive deep, and then you will be able to have these jewels, which will give us the bliss. That is, Sai Ram will continue.